Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on Forza Motorsport for some multiplayer racing. The vehicles that we were using in this were B-class cars fitted with V8s. Now they could start with a V8 or you could swap one in. This did come with a V8, but I have had to put a V8 in the BMW. The other restrictions were we're not allowed race tyres, which often makes things a little bit more interesting in terms of builds, but also the tyres couldn't be bigger than 275s. The reason for that, often in Forza certainly, just the biggest tyres are the way to go a lot of the time, and by restricting it, it opens up some other vehicles to hopefully be useful. Now, my BMW is quite heavy, but otherwise, I like the 850 and was hoping it would be pretty good. Well, this is a nice spot on the grid for our first race. I can't complain. We are alongside one of the few cars that's probably heavier than mine and will struggle off the line even more. Actually, it's not a terrible start. From the big BMW, we are going to lead the way to turn one. We not quite got the grip yet. Tyre's not up to temperature. So, yeah, I mean, it's a solid spot on the grid. I'm not expecting too much from the BMW in terms of straight line speed here. While I picked it hoping that, you know what, it's a big heavy car, so it's going to have a big chunk of power, and it's not really worked out that way. I've got it on sport tyres, the best tyres I can get, and we've got about 415 horsepower, which is nothing compared to some of the cars running street tyres here. But we will be nice to drive, and that is the thing that really helped me here, is that we should be a nice car to drive, which will help at Mid-Ohio. Into this section here is where we should, in theory, be quite good. I mean, the big downside for me is the car is really heavy. So it's really cumbersome in some ways. The hope is we will have the grip through this section to pull a bit of a margin and then lose out down the track. I'm worried about Impega's Porsche. Tiny little Porsche is going to be an absolute monster in terms of acceleration and I presume straight line speed if Impega can keep it under control. And I mean, that is a big if. It's not going to be the easiest of vehicles to manhandle around the circuit. But yeah, we will see. We'll see what we can do. I couldn't really ask for better here. My car would suck in traffic, or potentially suck in traffic. It'd be just difficult to make your way through the pack, of course. But starting from the front row is absolutely ideal for the Beamer, because I don't have to really deal with traffic. Now, we might have to deal with battling and everything, but yeah, we don't have to deal with the horrific traffic from the get-go. Okay, it looks like the Supra is already having to defend from the Porsche. That works out quite nicely for me in some ways. The more they fight each other, the better it is in terms of letting me try and build a little bit of a margin. Downside is the Beggar's already got through, and the little tiny lightweight acceleration box is going to be charging towards us. Yeah, my hope is that Impega just cannot keep control of that thing through the midsection quite as well, and we can be just sort of smooth and precise. I will say I'm not great at Mid-Ohio. I like the track, I think it's a fun challenge, but I am absolutely not great at it. It's breaking down that main straight. I'm just not quite sure what I can and can't get away with in this car at the moment, and yeah, it's wanting desperately not to make a silly error somewhere. Well, a bit like that. That was just me trying to open the steering up a little bit more than I probably should have done. Porsche is behind us. The thing is, Impega knows they don't even really have to do very much here. Impega doesn't really have to do much here because all they've got to do is be close. All they've got to do is be close as we head on to that back straight, and the Porsche will just outrun us in theory. We can try and be brave under brakes if by some miracle it hasn't gone completely flying past us by that time. I can try and hold it under brakes, but that'll be difficult to do. We're good through turn one. We continue to keep a gap, and I mean, as long as Gibgob is keeping the cars further back busy, that works out quite well for me. I never get this corner right. I always take way too tight a line. I really need to start going for a later apex there. I know the mistake that I make, and I make it every time. It's just almost instinctive at this point. It is to go for that kind of tighter line. Now, Porsche is going to get past. I'm hoping that we can. I'm not even brave enough to try that under brakes. Pega has got that one stopped quite well. So I don't even know if my brakes I could have made that one work. I don't know whether I could have done it. But we can see the Porsche struggling here. We're going to go for the very spectacular. I mean, this is doable here. We have the traction on the exit, which we do. We can keep the little Porsche pinned to the bottom. We've got the grip in the BMW, and we will fight back past. So we can do that. We can repass it. And of course, we'll cost Pega a little bit of time middle of the lap. Unfortunately, I suspect next time around, Pega will be is closer now, so that as we come onto that straight, Pega will pass us earlier. But we can continue. We won't give up. We will continue to fight as much as possible with the big Beamer. Right, across the line we go. It's not close enough to the end of the race, I don't think. But you never know. We might be able to hang on for dear life in some places. It was very good turn one. I mean, that was the limit. That was the maximum I could get out of this vehicle. Now, can we try going for a bit of a later apex down here? It's better. I'm trying to get on the power. It's not quite got the grip. And here comes Pega. Now they're closer. We're going to do exactly the same thing again. If you want to come past, you are going to have to go the long way. You're going to have to go the long way down here. I mean, Porsche is so light. We are closer this time. I can keep the nose there under braking. And now we have got the grip to make this one work. We can actually do a slightly more conventional pass here on the Porsche. We can make it really work for it. And now we've got ourselves back ahead again. Good stuff from the 850. Well, I guess it's technically, unfortunately, as much as when there was a V8, one of these, the 840, but of course we only have the 850 in Forza, so I've had to put a Chevy V8 in it, which I mean is a good engine in Forza. It would be fun to have the BMW option, although it probably would still be quicker. Knowing how Forza PI works, the Chevy V8 is normally pretty good. Is Pega going to have a look? Unfortunately for me, I'm now having to defend a little bit around here. Well, we have got kind of more mid-corner speed. We've just got so much more weight in the 850 that's causing us the issues here compared to the tiny and light Porsche. Gliska is not far away in third, but it's not quite challenging us. Oh, once again, absolutely on the limit of what I can get away with in the BMW. We really are asking a huge amount of this car, and I have to. I absolutely have to. Pega is going to try. I see. Pega actually quite smart there. So what Pega did is put the car right where I wanted to come down, when I wanted to get the car back across and down for the exit. That is the downside of running that sort of late apex line there. That is the real downside of that late apexy line. Thought about having a big send under brakes. Didn't do it. And once again, see, this is where the problem is for Pega is they're quick. They're quick coming off the straight, and then it's immediately into the section that the Porsche cannot do as well. But now Pega is in front, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to fire back past. Now we've got an acceleration zone, and I'm not close enough. I think we're lost out to the Porsche here, barring a mistake from that. We may be able to fire ourselves back through at some point. If an opportunity presents itself, I really have got to take it into the final corner. Maybe. No, Pega is aware of that as a potential danger from the BMW. I mean, that sort of second to third transition, maybe a little aggressive with the upshift. Yeah, I just cannot. As quick as we can be in places, we're going to be very quick through turn one. And Pega's going to have to watch out here because we could feasibly send it to the inside here. And Pega is going to park it in the middle of the road. Probably a wise thing to do. You're kind of just doing that little bit of a deterrent to stop the BMW from really going for it. Yeah, we could have maybe dove to the inside there. Now, Pega's going to run away. For the first time now, the Porsche is going to have an uninterrupted kind of braking zone down here. If we're going to get back past the Porsche, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to almost do a surprise maneuver around this section. This is the section where it's going to happen. If it's going to happen anywhere, We need to get off that corner. We really need to get off that corner alongside, I think. See, we're putting the Porsche under absolutely immense pressure all the way through here now. Could we ever get underneath here? I just don't think... We've got grip, but we haven't got that much grip to do it. Liska's still 2 seconds back. This has been a good lap by me. I mean, we are keeping the pressure on. Impega is not going to be able to rest one bit in the closing stages of this race. Oh, back end once again, wanting to move around on the BMW. I mean, there's almost a gap. There was almost half a chance for the nose of an 850 to have a look. We still can't find a way back past. We've got one more lap to go. One more time around Mid-Ohio for two very, very different cars here. Two very, very different vehicles indeed. Once again, it's really quick out of turn one for me, but I think this time around the Porsche was even better. I think the Porsche is further out of the way. I think it's going to have a better job here of getting into this corner. We can get off the turn. We get off the turn very nicely. Just don't know where we're going to find a way past. Mid-Ohio is a difficult track. It's a difficult track to overtake on in general. And the corners that we're strongest at, I'm just too far back because we have a long straight before them. Like, we have this long straight as we go into my best corners. Can we do anything here? Oh, maybe. We're right on the bumper, but it's not enough. It's not enough to get alongside. It's still going to look, though. We're going to keep the pressure up because all it takes is one little mistake from that Porsche. Could we get alongside here? Oh, I thought about it. I think if I'd gone for it, all that would have happened is we would have just clattered in. I think if I dove there, I think we were just going to crash it off the track. To do that, it's such a difficult spot to get a clean pass, and I don't think we're going to be close enough into the final corner. I don't quite have the rear end grip. I tell you what, though, it has been one hell of a battle. Impega had to be patient to find a way past, and once they got through, it was far from easy. We applied as much pressure as we possibly could. What a race. Well done, Impega. I like that 850. Christ, that was good fun. That was a good fun battle, indeed. It was the Firebird sat in third. The Firebird watched a wonderful battle. The Camaro further back was quicker than the pair of us at the front, but got stuck in traffic. There's a lot of places for hordes in fourth. That was one hell of a fight. Slightly got on I couldn't win it, but that was brilliant. We head to Laguna for our next race. It's not quite as good on the grid, but I'm not going to complain too much about being in 7th place. Laguna should suit my car relatively well. I mean, it's not going to be perfect around here, but it's certainly not going to be completely terrible. What on earth is going on with Hordes' wheels? It looks like it's got wheel spikes. That's a new visual glitch I haven't come across before. Sure, okay, game. I'm going to try and not get distracted looking at the wheel spikes on that one. Now, there are two sacrilegious Mazdas going on up ahead with their V8 put in place of a glorious rotary. How could you do such a terrible thing? So such wonderful pieces of machinery. Ewan is leading the way here. We're going to get to the inside of Hordes. Thing is, I mean, I think I've got good pace in the BMW. One of the difficulties we're going to have here is trying to clear that Cortina. The Cortina is an acceleration box of a car, by the looks of it. So yeah, if we can get past it when it does that, that's what's going to help me, really, is if we can get past it when it's doing that, we can move ourselves up into a 4th place. Oh, wasn't quite aggressive enough through the corkscrew there. This section my car should be good at. We should have the mid-corner speed if I don't put it on the sand like that. I mean, Hordes, I know Hordes has got, by the looks of it, a lot of corner speed in the Firebird. I'm going to guess maybe some weight reduction has gone on in that, because if I'm out running it down these straights, it must be really slow down the straights. So as we come towards the end of the first lap, I mean, we're up in 4th. We're in a pretty good spot. Can't complain too much about that. We've got two Mazdas in front of us, and Ewan's Lamborghini Espada is leading the way. Now, if Ewan and Javi can fight each other really hard... Oh, I'm not on a race-tired machine anymore. Only plus point going that wide is you do get a kind of decent slingshot on the exit here, which we will try and do. But we bounced the curb and got it a little bit crossed up, thankfully. I mean, we bumped the side of Hordes, but didn't really do too much to the Firebird there, which is then immediately slid wide and dropped the rear onto the dirt. Yeah, I mean, the big problem for me is we struggle against some of the more acceleration cars here. Oh, and I'm now overdriving it, I think, is what is causing me grief. Let's just chill it out a little bit here. Oh, as we say that, we clonk the curb. I was thinking the BMW was going to be fast here. I was thinking it was going. I don't know whether it's the BMW not quite working at this track, or more likely is the Alex not quite working at this track, which is distinctly possible. We've got it off the corkscrew nicely, though. I will take that. Let's see if we can. We're going to try and follow Hordes through that one. Couldn't quite do it, unfortunately, and now we're going to get a little bit stuck. Well, we were looking for a brave way around the Mazda there, and it didn't quite work. It's not going to quite work. I don't know, actually. We may be able to do something on the exit here. We've got more speed than Chris down the straights. We've got that same speed as the Mazda down the straights. We're probably running very similar engines, I would imagine, between these two cars. We're going to try and pull it up into turn number 1. Couldn't do it. I mean, we had to have a go. We might actually mug the Mazda here, which is quite funny, and I might still hold on to the spot from Chris. Just about. It's side by side between me and the Camaro. Oh, Chris is braving it on the outside there. That is so brave. That is such a tough manoeuvre to try and pull out. We are going to be... I mean, we're going to remain stuck on the outside of Chris. Now, it is helping the cars further back to catch us, and it's helping Hordes and Ewan and Javi and all of them not get away up at the front. Javi is having a real good go at finding a way past Ewan in this one. Oh, down the RX-8's had an issue. That looks like a controller turn-off or something. Either that or it was a wheel on the curb and it just got spat completely sideways. An unusual crash from Danizen. Big fight at the front is bringing Hordes into that fray. Now, if they all start fighting, there is a chance actually that me and Chris could come and join them. There's no real massive pressure. I'm really struggling. Why am I really struggling with this car here? I don't know why. My brain has just completely forgotten how to drive Laguna. I'm really, really struggling at this track, and I can't figure out why. We have got... The fact that I've got a little bit more straight line speed than Chris is really saving my arse here. Yeah, I'm just all of a sudden really struggling with this car. If we can just get a lap together, we can get a rhythm of some sort. My car, I don't think my car just doesn't seem to enjoy this track. It's just not working for me. It's just, yeah, combination of car and track is really not working for me. Here, we're going to have to fight tooth and nail, I think, against the Camaro. Come on, BMW. Oh, no, we have got Chris looking for a way past underneath. We will fight back on the exit. I mean, again, we will continue to fight back here. We will give the Camaro the space on the outside, because, again, we're going to get the acceleration up the hill. There has been an off. It's an off for Ewan. The Lamborghini took a big trip into a gravel trap, which is not ideal. Impega is about to arrive with a very, very fast accelerating Porsche. Not an easy to drive Porsche, but a monster in terms of the acceleration. No, did not want to get it turned in down there. Yeah, we are really struggling with a car that was so very fast at the other track. Here, it is just not working. There is just not... I've not got the feel... I can also barely hear my own car over everyone else, which is really frustrating. I just can't hear my car over all the other cars. I don't know why. It's really weird. I've had that problem with other vehicles before, but there we go. Impega's going to get both of us, and there's not much we can do about that one, really. Now, can I settle into a rhythm of some sort behind the Porsche? I mean, we're going to try and have a look to the inside down here. Chris is going to try and help us get ourselves to the inside down here. Hordes has got to the front of the field. Yeah, I just really, really not... Oh, and then we got a little bump through there at the wrong moment. Let's to say not particularly what we needed on that one. Yeah, I cannot get to grips with this vehicle. I think Chris is waiting for us on that one, maybe. Or that Camaro is just genuinely that slow. I don't think it's going to matter one way or another, because we're going to outrun the Camaro coming up the hill here. Now, we will try and get ourselves back across and take a line. If I could just get a rhythm, like if I could just get myself in a rhythm of some sort, I feel like my car should be good here. I just cannot get the BMW around this circuit quickly. Oh, that's not going to help. That is a tremendous bump over there for the 850. We're around the outside of Chris, who's then got a big bump on the inside, which we thankfully were able to give space to them through there. Oh, Chris now with a big wobble under power there. I was expecting Chris to turn it a bit sooner, did not. The only plus point is, yeah, the Camaro is even slower than I am down the straight, so we're going to resume this battle. It's costing us, I mean, we've lost huge chunks of time. Yeah, this is really very much a race that could have and should have gone way better. I feel like this car easily had pace to battle with the front cars. I just have not been able. I mean, it happens sometimes, but I've really not been able to get to grips, unless maybe the setup or something isn't working around this track. But yeah, definitely this is not really working for me here. We got one more time around to try and fend off the car behind. Do I want third on the exit? Yeah, I think I want third on the exit. Chris is going to get up the inside, but it won't matter because he's just not going to be able to put the nose alongside, and we will fend off for now. We've got a few more corners to go, and we can't afford to let Chris get close to us out of the final corner. Cannot afford to let Chris anywhere near on the final corner, because we know as much as I can outrun that car, it won't be by the start-finish line, so we will have to defend into the final corner. We'll have to defend well into the final corner as well. Is the Camaro close enough? No, it actually ran wide on its own, so I don't actually have to defend in the end. We just have to be neat, just be neat and tidy around the next turn. We've got one more time around, so that's good practice. If I can do that, we're okay. If I can do that, we are kind of sorted. Let's just get on the brakes for turn number one. I mean, I'm trying to just drive it smoothly. The thing is, well, I'm not sure it's very fast around this track. Smoothly is definitely the way to go. Trying to sort of push this car has not worked for it. Chris is once again going to find themselves frustrated trying to look around the outside. You're not going to do that, especially not with sand on the turn-in. There was space. I think Chris was trying to get a big sort of sweeping line through that corner and ended up out a little bit wide. We will say hold on for the moment. I'm actually quite surprised by BMW struggling here. This wasn't really what I expected to see from this car. I thought it would work well at Laguna. I felt like this would be a good car for Laguna, and it's really not. It's really just not worked here in the slightest. We've had a bit better mid-sector of this one, and we have pulled a little bit of a margin back to the Camaro. Got down the corkscrew nicely. Suspension's not great on the bumps down there. It's not the worst I've driven. It's certainly not particularly good. Oh, I'm in the wrong gear. Actually, maybe that might be what's not helping me. I haven't got the right gears for this. Chris is going to send it all the way to the inside. It won't matter though. It won't matter at all. We've got more than enough acceleration to beat the Camaro, and the Camaro is going to lose out to the Supra. Chris had to send it, I think. Like, I respect the effort. But yeah, I just I could not get to grips with that BMW there, and I don't know why. It bemuses me as to why that was such a struggle at that track. I felt like that should have been a good track, but we just had no pace. Just none. Absolutely none in that car. But there we go. That is how it goes sometimes. So, there we have it. The BMW was a little bit of I say a bit of an enigma in this. I did pick this car for a couple of reasons, but I do like the 850. Part of the reason why I picked this car is it is quite a big, heavy car, and I expected when I built it that, oh, well, because it's quite heavy, I'm going to have some power, it's going to be some straight line speed, and it had good top end, but it really was a handling build. It wasn't really my intention when I set out to build it, per se. Well, I did go for sport tyres. I thought I'd still have enough power to be quite quick down a straight, but apparently not. Regardless, it was a nice car to drive. I at least liked driving it. Why it was bad at Laguna, I don't know. When we filmed these, we filmed multiple races, some that aren't aired, and this car worked at other tracks quite well. Laguna, it's just... We had a fantastic battle with Chris. It was great fun, but the car was just terrible at Laguna, where other tracks it worked really well. So I don't know. That is a bit of a mystery on that. And how it goes sometimes with builds. I've had cars that have been epic at one track and terrible elsewhere, or in this car's case, terrible at one circuit and quite good elsewhere. So yeah, it's always curious. But I like the car. It's fun restrictions, some very good fun racing actually along the way. That though is going to be it for this video. If you would like to sign up to take part in the next one of these, then you can via our Discord. There'll be a link in the description. Find the Versus community section, and you can register to take part in there. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.